Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Back by popular demand. It's Jez 77 with 7780 with a what grinds my gears. The Slapback. Shout out to Wound Up Penguin. Thank you for coming on. Let's get to the YouTubes right now and share this out. We're gonna back with a podcast because there's been some crazy stuff going down, and I wanted to do a show yesterday, but I got down with the stomach bug. Kids bring that stuff home, and I was dealing with it all weekend, and then I got it myself. And so yesterday, I'm still just like, my head just hurts from that, but I'm back. And I was like, I'm glad I waited a day, because my goodness, what difference a day makes. Silence is golden, and now the silence is no more. What's up, Ice Queen Gaming? How you doing? And we are here on the precipice. Let me share this out on Twitters. Let's see, I'm back. I know people saw me streaming, but they're like, when are you going to do the grinds? I was like, this week. And hey, look what happens. So, hold on, let me change my back. Well, I'll keep it here, then we'll just change it back to the thing, because I do the grindhouse, but I got my other back. So yesterday, let me see if I get back into the so yesterday was a big day. First off, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. There's all these quarantines and curfew type things. Just be safe. Do wash your hands, do what you can to not contracting that thing. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what we're talking about. But yeah, just stay safe out there, everybody. And it's a good time to game and watch some movies, catch up with all the good stuff. And this would have been GDC, so I think GDC was coming up in the next week or so, and then that's been canceled. So so that's why we're getting a lot of news on these consoles. And yesterday was a big thing where we already heard with the Xbox One X to 12 teraflops. They were talking about the RAM and all this stuff, but they broke it down yesterday. Digital Foundry did a big breakdown yesterday, and that's right, Alish, that's right. The Slapback, that's right. So they came out yesterday and did a full, I'm trying to get their thing. I'm not going to go through the specs because, you know what? The spec stuff, it really, you know what? Again, it's about the games. For me, it's about the games, the features, how we're going to play in the future. Things that they did announce yesterday that really, excited me. It wasn't the 12 teraflops. It wasn't the GD, the RAM, the bus speeds, the hard drives. The hard drives maybe impact a little bit with the loading times, but the instant resume, that was cool. That's that's a feature that I could definitely see with 5 games. Instant resume, I definitely could see that. That's something that's really cool. That's how to do. What's up, yes, and the memory card thing, which that whole thing with that memory card was another kind of so what they got is they got this stuff. And again, you're not coming here for the tech talk, even though I'm a techie and I like all the stuff computers and technology and stuff. Again, this is gaming, right? We're talking about gaming and the hard drive stuff. So they have a 1 terabyte SSD, customized SSD in the system. So there was a lot of back and forth because they were saying that instant resume, games made for that. What's up, Shadow? How you doing? And Socrates, what's up? Welcome back, guys. Share out the video. So so basically they have this 1 terabyte SSD in there, and they have instant resume with 5 games. You can jump right back into it, and I'm gonna get back into the chat thing here. So I'm just gonna go this. There we go. So, yeah, so they have this thing, and they said games that are going to be optimized or using features of the velocity, speed, or something along those lines will be have to be on the hard drive, like on their hard drive, and then as the Kuhn mentioned, they're going to have memory cards made by Seagate, proprietary. Um, and they're going to stick into the back of the console that secret slot that they had. And basically, they look exactly like the memory cards from the 360, the PlayStation era, and they're going to sell them at 1 TB. And these give you the same speed as the internals with because they're attached directly into the bus speed or whatever like that with the connections, so that this memory card will function as if that. However, external hard drives on the Xbox Series X will function as more of storage units. You could run old 360 games on there and old Xbox One games that don't have features adapted by the Series X. But if games get Series X optimized or get updated features, things like that, and you want to use the instant resume and stuff, they got to put them on. What's up, Sir Matsalot? You have to put them on either that external drive or on their internal drive. You have to transfer it. So while supporting external USB, you can't run the game, a Series X game that has Series X features such as, that high velocity, all that other crap, or the instant resume and things like that, or the textures. If it's optimized for the Series X, it won't be able to run off the external hard drives, which is kind of a bummer. Because now instead of load times, now I'm gonna have to wait for games to transfer over from an external to an internal hard drive, and hopefully that's fast with USB 3. But and having 1 TB, Gears 5 by itself, I think is like 100 GB. Who knows what Halo Infinite's gonna be? Like these games, some of these games are gonna be huge. Like Cyberpunk, I'm sure that's gonna be a big file. So to have just 1 TB in there, it's nice, better than 500 GB. But and then have to go buy these memory cards, which I bet these things are probably gonna be like $150 a pop. Those external memory cards. These are not gonna be no $30 memory cards. These are 1 TB SSD customized hard drives. So if you recall, I remember when the Xbox had their hard drive that you had to buy, that at least was over $100. I think it was $130, $150 for the 360, those external hard drives. And those were nothing but just regular hard drives. These are customized SSDs. They're probably going to be in the 150 range for that, which is going to be costly. And the fact that you can't run the games off of there, you're going to be doing a lot of transferring, a lot of manipulation of games. I hear, there are people saying that, Sony's going to do something similar to this with these external hard drives, these external SSDs, in order to get that type of fidelity and, transfer rates and features of that. And if we're going back to memory cards again, it's going to be kind of crappy because I kind of like just plugging in an external hard drive, a 4 TB, and just dumping my games on there, especially now that we have such a huge library of digital library that's coming with us. I like to have a huge hard drive just plugged into the back of the console that I could just play any game where I want. I don't have to download it. I could download everything and not worry about hard drive space because I have such a large space for storage. So hopefully the transfer rates, we'll learn more about it, I guess, as it goes forward. But that's the kind of breakdown, and that was kind of the little downer of yesterday's news of the specs of the Xbox, was that back to memory cards and terabytes and things like that. But otherwise, it's impressive. It's an impressive piece of hardware. For the power that they have. They showed the scale of it, and having 1.7 or 1.6 teraflop back at the OG Xbox One to this 12. It's a huge range. Which I pray to the Lord scalability.
No deal.
Whatever about that. That's a huge range of power, which they're probably gonna sit somewhere in the middle. But it was, and they had Digital Foundry break it down. Talk, and you know what? They're on point. Microsoft has been rolling out this Series X, talking about, they showed it, then they talked about some 12 teraflops on a tweet, and now they did a complete breakdown, and they showed how it all fits into that box, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty dense into that box. And let me see if I could grab some, where's my profile here? just go down my Twitters here. See if I have some. Yeah. So just to jump back into this, let me share my screen here. Does this work? Da-da-da. Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't set it up for this one. Hold on, I'll fix it. I will fix it. Oh, wee. Hold on, I'm fixing this thing right now. There we go. So yeah, you can see that. Yeah, basically. Well, hold on, let me get rid of this thing. Yes. Discord 2. Get rid of all this stuff. There we go. So yeah, these are the memory cards that they were referring to. So they do look like little like memory cards. Like this is a 1 terabytes. Yeah, so that's what they look like. They're gonna go into that secret slot in the back. And then another cool thing that showed up yesterday, which where is it? Yeah, here was the so it's not a replacement for the external USB hard drives, as those continue to be supported, but the storage expansion slot is promising identical performance to the internal drive. The outline of Microsoft indicates. So it's neat. I wish they would just say, hey, you could run them off of the external hard drive. You just won't get the load times of the SSD, which, you know, but you'll still be able to run the game. But if you want to like have the benefits of the SSD, you would transfer it. But it looks like that these games won't run. And this whole Xbox Velocity architecture and all this hubbub. That's a lot of hubbub. A lot of this kind of stuff where, this is my kind of caveat to this whole thing. And this is, one of the things that I'm just not a fan of. And kind of, we've done this before. In the Xbox camp, at least. With the Xbox One X, we did this already. This is like 2017 remastered. Like, they showed the specs, Digital Foundry got the hands on, blah, blah, blah. This is amazing, most powerful hardware, blah, blah, blah. And then they go ahead and it's like, and we'll show you all the games that you play already. And this doesn't look like a beast. This is not. See, so on the left is the 4K rendering of the S Series X, native 4K, and then this one's 1080p. So this is not even what it's running on the X at this is what the X is and the Series X, and this is the comparison. Like, this don't get me hyped. That's why we need to see new games. We need to see games built for the Series X. And, people saying E3 and stuff like that. But then we also go back to the last Booty call. And Booty is like, we're making our game scalable for all the Xboxes for the next 2 years. So are we going to be doing a lot of this for the next 2 years? Because they're not just going to have a Series X exclusive that uses the 12 teraflops? And this is where I'm looking forward to for the SLAPBACK. This is what I'm waiting to see from PlayStation. If they're going to say, whatever power we have in our system, here's a game built for that power. Only could be done here. Whether it's lies, whether it's not. And it looks amazing. But if you go around, you show us all those specs yesterday, and this is what I mean. Specs, all 12 teraflops. It's a beast. It eats monsters for breakfast with a side of orange juice. And then you show this. It's like, $500, $600. You running out day one to get this. That's what I mean. It's about the games. It's about the games. Because the fidelity and all the other stuff goes away after you're playing the game. This whole zoom in 300. Look at the trees. Look at the trees. Oh, well, for $600, your trees look like this. Oh, look at this. Let's zoom in. Let's go in there. We're zooming right here. Look at, oh, man. And I don't think this is 4K on this side. Because the Xbox One X runs it at 4K. Or dynamic 4K. So this is solid 4K. And then it's running at 120 frames. This is what I mean. Don't show me old games running on this new hardware. Show new games. Right? And that's where, like, kind of all that talk and all that other stuff and things like this, too. Like, oh, this controller got that exclusiveness. This was the other cool thing that I thought was interesting. The controller, which they showed, it does have a little bit of textured bumps on it for the LB and LT. That was one thing that I'm kind of a little disappointed in from yesterday's announcement is the controller. They really didn't do anything really ambitious with it. Nothing really too ambitious with the controller. Which I was a little like, oh well, they kept the same rumble. They said, let me go back to the chat. They kept the same rumble. Then the triggers. They did. They added a share button. They kept the AA batteries in it. Which is pretty crazy considering the Elite 2 is the first Xbox controller that doesn't use batteries, because the Elite 1 had batteries in it, and the Elite 2 doesn't have batteries in it. And everybody was all happy about that. Now they went back to batteries for the original Xbox controller. The other thing, it has some sort of connection where it's basically has some sort of low latency connection, and that you could update your old controllers on the Xbox One to take that benefit from the Series X. But yeah, the controllers really, they just kind of added a share button, added some textures to the bumpers and to the triggers, and kind of called it a day. That's about it. Where we see these patents for the Sony's controller, and I can tell you the PlayStation 4 controller definitely, the features and stuff that it has is a lot more, is really cool compared, it's a much more complex control with the speaker in it, the touchpad, the light, things like, and the 6-axis control that uses in certain games like Dreams, stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see what the PlayStation 5 controller looks like. This thing, that might be a touch screen. We don't know what battery is going to be like. And the PlayStation controllers have those, charging, which I really never ran into too many issues with charging. You get a charging dock, or you just plug it in. It's kind of nice instead of fuddling around with a whole bunch of AA battery packs and all that other stuff, and swapping out AA's, and then you put one AA in and the other. The AA's are nice, but it's much more convenient when you can just plug it in and it charges, or just put it on a dock. You don't have to worry about managing batteries. So I'm surprised that they do the batteries, but the Xbox One did, those batteries did last a long time. I can tell you that. The Sony one, I definitely think loses energy a lot faster than the Xbox controller. But also the Sony one has a light in it and a touchscreen, a touchpad. So that could be a reason why. But I like the speaker in it, and if Sony puts a microphone in it, that would be even cooler too. But yeah, the controller just seems a little. What's up, Lincoln Clay? How you doing, man? The controllers do seem a little just a little uninspired, a little just kind of next step. Really nothing like blowout stuff. So I was a little I thought they would add some cooler things to the controller, maybe make it a little more, I guess not, but they didn't. Considering how much they love their controller so much. But and I'm interested to see what Sony's controller looks like. To see if they add a lot of tech into it. That effect that makes the games better, with the haptic control is they already talked about this haptic kind of feedback and stuff like that in their Sony controller. So I'm interested to see, if they really evolve the Sony controller, because I like it the way it is. The Analog 6, I as somebody who played Xbox for forever using the 360 controller, after playing on the smaller, tighter thumbsticks on the PlayStation, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One control, Analog 6, feel flappy. They're like flappy nipples.
I'm not authorized to answer your question.
They're just flapping all over there. I feel they're tighter on I feel like more control, and maybe they're shorter and they're more resistance to them. I like that. Hopefully they keep that. Because going back to the Xbox One controller, the control thumbsticks are just too loose and they're a little too tall now. Like I'm just not used to it. Going back and forth. But yeah, so that was the big thing yesterday. So Phil Spencer, did his thank yous to the world, like he won an award. And then they showed how this thing. What's up, Twisted? How you doing? They put they packed it all up. It all squeezes in there. There's no fan. There's no light on top of the console. It's basically just a green plastic or a green kind of just like part of the frame. I have to say, the console standing upright and the way they put it in there looks neat. I like it. Like, it looks pretty cool. But that thing on its side is hideous. That's not wound up finger. That's right. Flabby nipples. But yeah, like that thing, I just don't. It does not look nice on its side. It looks like a shoebox on its side. Standing up, I think it looks pretty cool. Like it looks cool, like a mini tower or stuff like that. Small. They said it's like 2 GameCubes stacked up. But yeah, on its side though. It looks kind of. It doesn't look too neat on its side. Yeah, it doesn't look too. I don't think it looks real cool on the side, but stand up looks good. So that was yesterday, where they confirmed all this tech stuff. What is it they did? So those are stuff that stood out to me yesterday with the hard drive, the controller, the swapping between games. They basically had the same interface that they have on the Xbox One right now. They just showed how it went back and forth. Between instant resume to about 5 games. Which that's cool. And then what else? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, auto low latency mode. That was the thing with the controller. Backwards compatibility, direct ML, machine learning. Then they threw in some 24 teraflops, a 16-bit float performance, direct storage, dynamic latency input, GPU work creation. Like, you remember the Hovis method? It's just like mesh shading, native resolution. I'm just like blah, 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 blah. This is just... Smart delivery is pretty cool. Spatial audio, 3D space, Windows Sonic, which is on PC. This is a lot of stuff. And a lot of like buzzwords for them. And I just think I just feel like we've done this with them so many times before, and we're saying the same exact things. Like we went through this with the X, the Hovis method. Oh, let's interview Mr. Hovis, and he's gonna tell us about this Vapor cooling chamber and all this other stuff. What did that do? Well, did it do anything? Did it make all your games bleed off the screen? We got 2 games you could count: the Shadow of Mordor and Red Dead Redemption. That looked better. You look at, and then you look at Warzone, Call of Duty, just recently, right? Runs better on the PlayStation 4 Pro, better frame rate and stability on the PlayStation 4 Pro than on the Xbox One X. Hovis method my ass.
Put that cookie down now!
Hovis method's the most powerful console in the world. Why is it not just blazing past the PlayStation? And this is consistent. There's been so many games where the PlayStation 4 Pro ran them smoother and better than the Xbox. Xbox may have a resolution bump, the Xbox One X, but the PlayStation ran it better. So that's we've been through this before. We've been through all the mumbo jumbo and all the teraflops. Like this teraflop thing, all through 2017, the most powerful console. Get your jackets. We went through this. They've been talking specs forever. And again, the games are coming. The games are coming. And then what do? The games don't come, and then they go, we bought studios. Now it's like, we bought studios, the games are coming. The games are coming. And we're here again. More tech, more talk, more consoles. The games are coming. The games are coming. How's Battletoads going to look on 12 teraflops? Look at the games that they're making. That's a whole other story. Look at the AA to single A games for Game Pass that they're making. Is that going to use the power of 12 teraflops, bleeding edge technology? Who's using it? And this is my problem. If you're not making next-gen exclusives, what does it matter how much tech is in the box? If we're not going to have to wait to 3 years before you say, here's an only Series X game that uses the power of this system. Everything else is going to be scalable across all the platforms. Bleeding edge. Really. Yeah. And again, no Halo news. Nothing about Halo. Nothing. Those guys, we're fixing Master Chief still. Nothing. And what did they do with the X? Super Lucky's Tales. Crackdown 3. Gears 5 was the only game that came out within the 2 years of the X that actually kind of showed from them like a good-looking game. They need more of that. And I don't know if they're going to be zooming in at 300% on November, whenever hell this thing comes out, going, well, here's your $600 Series X. Look at the grass. It's clearer if you zoom in 300%. And it's running at a better frame rate. And then here's your X. Oh, and then here maybe is the Lockhart. That's my other thing. Before I jump into the slapback, my other thing is that I think they're showing all this tech and all this stuff so early because they're going to have to reveal another console. This whole Lockhart thing. And that's why I think the Series X with all that power is going to be $600. And this next one, the Lockhart, will probably be $400. But they probably have to get out of the way this one because they're going to probably roll out this Lockhart one. I think they should wait. But they have this Lockhart one, this diskless, 4 teraflop machine or whatever like that for the ones who are price conscious. Or they roll it out next year. That's what they should do. But they seem pretty aggressive with the whole rolling this thing out. And people assume that Sony was afraid. Phil's so confident. He's so confident. He's so confident. Sony shook. Phil unzipped his pants and pulled out 12 teraflops. 12.1 if he asked for a remeasure. He pulled them out. And Sony was shook. Sony knows that Microsoft is so powerful, this narrative. What does it matter? Oh my God, it would just drive me insane. I'm just what does it matter? Sony's been quiet for over a year and a half on talking about next gen, but they're releasing games. And I am so happy. So happy. Because this
We're
is
really
Phil
focusing
talking.
first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
My Benny Hill be pumping. That's the other thing. What happened to all this xCloud and playing at 720p on my 4-inch screen? Remember when that was the future? But everybody's all hyped up for how many teraflops you could cram into a box. But man, when Google Stadia was coming out, Phil couldn't get the word cloud out of his mouth fast enough. And your strap-ons for your phones. 4 inches. I want to play Gears on my 5-inch phone. I don't want to play it in 12 teraflops. I don't want to play it at 4K. I want to play it at 720p stream to my 4-inch phone with my strap-on and my Xbox controller. I thought that was the future. And everybody's following that future. That's the future. So now we're all excited for 12 teraflops sitting under my TV. Okay. So are you a guy who wants to play on your phone? Or are you a guy who wants to play on your TV? Can't forget those strap-ons. Did you buy your strap-on for your controller? To play on your 5-inch phone? It's just the narratives of this whole thing, or whatever Phil says is golden. It's bullshit. That's why I can't stand them.
I'm trying to use the phone!
I can't stand it. Don't even get me any exclusives talk. Oh, exclusives! They isolate them, put them behind the gate. Oh, no, exclusives are bad. Bad exclusives. Come on. Nobody was screaming bad when Phil was saying only on Xbox. Nobody screamed from the crowd saying that's bad. So, this whole, the future, what drives me crazy is that we cannot define what Microsoft's future is because it keeps changing. It's streaming, it's cloud, it's on the phone. That's where everybody's going to play on your phone. But now Stadia is a flop. Nobody cares about Stadia. So now, what about the cloud? Who's still playing on clouds? Now it's about 12 teraflops of power, the most powerful console. Trying to be all this tech stuff. And then you look and you see what Sony did. And now all the quietness, Horizon is finally coming to PC. And people went bonkers. Even with Halo going to PC, people went bonkers. My whole point is, you have to make games that people want to play, and they will play them wherever you put them. The problem is of Microsoft for the last 4 years is they haven't made games that people want to play. They announced yesterday 1 billion PC owners. Crackdown is on 1 billion devices. Gears is on 1 billion devices. Did that mean Gears has a huge following right now? If you go on Twitch and mix it, people will love it, playing a huge install base. It's at 225 people on Steam. It doesn't matter. You haven't made games that people want to play. That's why I just don't understand this whole future of it's streaming, but no, now it's about the Xbox, $500-$600 unit. Oh, but the phone is an option. Oh, now it's an option. Before, end of last year, it was that's where we're going. But we come to this morning. Okay? We come to this morning. Sony with the SLAPBACK. And they just came out today and just went, Finally. No more logos. They're going to have Cerny talk about the PlayStation 5 in-depth dive tomorrow. They're like, Phil, you had a year and a half of jibber jabber, of talking about clouds, talking about all this other stuff, talking about Game Passes, talking about all your wonderful stuff, and now we're coming back with the SLAPBACK.
It's time to quit jammering before I start hammering.
So, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's 11 or 12, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there's going to be a live stream, I believe. And it's going to be about the PlayStation 5 in-depth tech specs of it and how the future of gaming is going to be impacted by it. And finally, Sony has removed its silence and are going to talk about the PlayStation 5. And we can finally put these rumors to bed, these insiders, the flops, and all this other stuff, and say, here's the Xbox Series X, here's the PlayStation 5, let's go, let's see the games. Let's get all this crap out of the way. There are going to be people that are going to be excited if the Xbox is more powerful. I don't know what to say to them. Enjoy yourself in the corner somewhere. I don't know what to say to them. There are going to be people enjoying about the PlayStation more powerful. Then the Xbox guys eat crow because now Sony wasn't shook. But, this whole more powerful thing, I said this before. We're not going to get a differential in power like we have in the X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. This differential is going to be much closer, so it doesn't matter. People act like Xbox Series X is going to come out, and this is 12 teraflops, and Sony's coming out with a potato. Oh, AMD's partnered with Xbox. Holy crap! What's Sony? They sold 110 million friggin' consoles out there. You think AMD's like, now we want to go with the 40 million Xbox one? Phil Spencer, kiss my ass. No. I'm sure they got the same partnership with Sony. I don't know why people are blind to this. Like, they got the same shit. Oh, Phil thanked the lady from AMD, and they got the exclusive partnership. And it's like,
I don't think so, sucker.
Like, come on. They're going to be equivalent to each other. That's why this power narrative, this power stuff doesn't matter. And if the PlayStation is more powerful, yay. What does it matter? Is Xbox going to sell less because the PlayStation is more powerful? Is the Xbox going to sell more because the PlayStation is less powerful? No. The Xbox is not going to sell because they're not going to have the games. They still don't. And they got to earn gamers' trust and gamers' respect back. They've lost so many people this generation due to their bullshit and giving up on gaming and not focusing on the core audience. And while Sony was quiet, Phil Spencer goes running around kissing up the PC dudes and people on their phones rather than focusing on the core audience. And now he comes running back home to mama going like, oh, well, here's the most powerful console for you guys to buy. Fools, $500, $600. You'll buy it because you bleed green. But Phil, what are we going to play? Well, I gave you Battletoads. I'm going to give you some, hopefully Halo's good. So, Phil, you're leaving me starving the whole year, and hopefully I play for Halo. Like, Sony's coming out there with games with a momentum to go into the next generation. So, as you're playing Last of Us 2, as you're playing Neo 2 right now, as you're playing those games, Sony's going to drop some knowledge on you tomorrow about, here's our next-gen console. That is an app, but that is like, oh, man, that's awesome. All right, well, I'm going to play these games now. Ghost Tsushima coming out in June. Now, that's all if nothing gets delayed. But they're getting momentum. These are big games coming out to lead you into next generation. And if they drop a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on PlayStation 5, with Horizon on PC to kind of lure the PC dudes into maybe the PlayStation, the PlayStation ecosystem, or lure them into liking Horizon to maybe buy a PlayStation 5, using it as a fishing lure. Now, PC guys are not going to do it all the time, but you might get some. Plus, they'll get to sell the game. Think about it. You got the PlayStation 5 sitting there, and you got all these games coming out. When you got Battletoads, Bleeding Edge, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then leading into it, Ori's great, but if you look, even Ori is like, there's not much interest in Ori. I was looking, if they look at Twitch, Neo had like 50,000 people watching on Twitch, and Ori had only 6 or 4. I think it was 4. Like, Ori it's a nice game, but like it's not getting the attention that it should get for being a great game. And I guess Aaron Greenberg running around in an Ori suit wasn't enough marketing for Ori. I would do a facepalm right now, but because of the situation of the virus, I'm not touching my face. But yeah, I don't think Aaron Greenberg running around in an Ori costume was enough to get Ori, nice marketing. Like, Jesus. I just don't get where that come from. You know what? If the tech stuff gets you all excited, enjoy. But tomorrow, Sony got the slapback. Finally, to shut the mouths of the world. Just shut up. Here's our tech specs. There they are. You want to go line them up and match them up? Do whatever you want. But Sony wasn't afraid. Even if they have a 9 teraflop machine, who cares? And that's the one thing that doesn't get me super hyped for tomorrow. And hopefully they do. Because, you know, in their February reveal of the PlayStation 4, they did kind of show a game or so. So hopefully they do show something tomorrow of like with the potential of what the thing does. Because that's the one thing that Microsoft, they just showed old games running again. But if Sony shows something new, that will be very interesting. Or they show old stuff running better, which again doesn't really excite me. Old stuff running better. It's neat. It's you know, it's the evolution of the console, but I want to see something new. I'm hoping if they don't show anything new, that they show the controller and maybe some features of the controller that is cool for games. But if they just do a tech spec rundown and all that other stuff, I'm more interested in the features and the capabilities of the consoles, not the tech specs. Like, you know, not the RAM and the bus speeds and the Hovis method and cooling systems and all this other stuff. It's more about the capabilities of the machine. So hopefully they talk more about that one. And Cerny's are all techie, so he's going to talk about all that stuff. But we'll see how it goes. And I'll be back and do another thing on it. And we'll compare. You know, on how it went. Now, apparently, the thing is about Sony SLAPBACK is that this is basically their GDC presentation that they were going to do. So it's probably going to be definitely more geared towards developers and the capabilities of the machine, things like that, things that they can do. Whereas yesterday's really wasn't directed for developers. I think Microsoft's having another one that they're going to do where they're going to talk about the future of gaming and stuff like that. I think it's one of the GDC panels that they're going to do virtual. But yesterday was more of just kind of exactly what they did with the X. And I just feel like it's deja vu all over again. Seeing, you know, Ledbetter and all those other guys just play with the console and talk about its potential and all this other stuff. It's just like, we did this before, guys. They're following. Everybody's like, oh, it's better than 2013. It's better in their messaging, I guess. But I felt like in 2013, they had some games that we were surprised about. And I don't know if we have those surprises this year. But we'll see. And whether Sony has surprises, too. You know, if they have some... I just want to see and I want to hear PlayStation 5 exclusive, because that will put to bed all this other crap with putting their games everywhere and exclusives don't matter and all these things that give me friggin' headaches. You know, what's up, Cyber Dragon? How you doing, man? You know, all these things that give me headaches, because that's the thing that just drives me crazy. Is like, we can't move on and just take everything for what it is. Everybody has to go and say, oh, they're copying Microsoft. This is this. And because Sony's been so quiet, this narrative just kept going. And oh, they look at MLB, look at Horizon stuff. And I said this before, Sony will dab into certain aspects and do things that Microsoft's doing, like streaming. And they already do streaming. They're going to do that. But Sony's going to be more calculating. They're not just going to they're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater like what Microsoft did. They just said, screw those console players. We're going to PC. Woo, who's with me? No console exclusives. We'll give PC exclusives. What's up, Winslow? How you doing, man? You know? Like, they just threw the baby out with the bathwater. They said all those years of Xbox console, like, loyalty and what we've given you and everything you've grown to expect from a console, well, we're going to put it on PC for free. And we're going to make PC guys exclusive games. And you console hardcore guys, you just stick around and keep paying for Xbox Live. He shifted. He shifted from the core. And that's why you see a lot of people deflect. Because they feel shafted. They feel like, hey, I invested in this platform and then you gave up on me because you wanted to pursue a phone, a PC, and then try to spin it to tell me that I'm the same person as a PC gamer. We're not the same people. You prefer something different. And the thing is that you obviously see that when you're releasing a console. Oh, it's not about competition. It's not Sony and Nintendo. I'm going against Google and Amazon. Are you? The thing is if you continue to release a competitor, you're going to be compared to your competitor. If you want that, then don't make a console. As long as you're making a console, you're going to be compared to the PlayStation 5 and to the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. As long as you're in the console space and you're making dedicated console, you will be compared to them. So stop crying, saying that, oh, don't pick on Microsoft. They will be held up to the same standards across the board with the two other consoles because they're still in the console business. Don't be like, well, Xbox is console and phone and PC and Xbox pajamas and Ori outfits, and that's Xbox. That comes out one side of the mouth. And I want to see what Sony does, and I want to hear how they're going to package the system up and what it's going to look like. Maybe it shows what it looks like too. But it's pretty exciting. And yeah, definitely am happy that they're doing the slapback because I'm done with the Phil Ness going on for over a year and a half and just hearing him blah, 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 blah with no friggin' games. And the games you do release are broke-ass games that you destroyed the multiplayer in Gears. I don't want to get into the friggin' bullshit you did with Gears. It was the first one I dropped so quick. It was horrible. I liked the story a little bit. I thought it was the best story that they told, like narrative-wise. But the multiplayer was just, no progression. It was just garbage. And they're still trying to figure it out. This is your premier title. This is the best of the best. This is it. There's nothing else bigger than Gears on your platform. Not Bleeding Edge. Not Ori. This was the best. And I saw your best. Halo Master Chief was your best. I'm telling you, I'm going to go on a friggin' tirade if Halo Infinite is trash. If Halo Infinite is some sort of bullshit service, Game Pass, fodder, holy crap. Because that's it. They are dead to me. That is the last hope. That is it. The last hope. And I just can't believe that the last hope is in 343's hands because I think 343 don't know how to do diddly squat. Just look at what they did in Master Chief Collection. They didn't even make those friggin' games. But they can't get them to run. We're talking, Master Chief Collection launched in 2015? Now they put it on PC and they just stealth drop the games on PC. It's just, they're still trying to fix it. It's just disgraceful. Not making new spin-offs and franchises. Like, everything is a fix. It's not fun. That's why when I look at Horizon Zero Dawn. They launched the game and they had an amazing extra DLC at the end of the year. They launched Uncharted 4 and they had Lost Legacy. You know, like, it just seems that it's more entertainment. It's more fun. Whereas I feel like when Microsoft releases a game like Sea of Thieves or Gears and they're like, we're fixing it today, but we're patching it. Patch 5. Remember PUBG? The news was every month about how they're trying to still fix it. I don't understand. You're paying for a premium console and everything that gets released for it is broken-ass games.
You bastards! You vicious, heartless bastards!
Broken-ass games. Like, you're paying for a premium experience. Look at Ori. The frame rate drops. The people have been claiming, only play it on the X or on PC, because if you play it on an Xbox S, it's going to frame rate drop. Oh, we have a day one patch. Oh, don't review it until the day one patch. It's a friggin' platformer. Are you kidding me? It is not no $5 million budget blockbuster game. It is a friggin' AA/AAA platformer. Frame rate drops. Really? It couldn't just be a 94, the perfect game ever. No, frame rate drops. Technical issues. The quality control of Microsoft has been in question ever since they started with Quantum Break. And since Quantum Break, for me, it's been kind of a I don't trust them quality thing. They friggin' remastered State of Decay 2. Judgment Edition. That's the problem, Silverback. What else are they going to hype? It's all updates and fixes, and that's the problem. They're hyping those things. That's news. Rather than announcing new games and new experiences and new DLCs and new things, all it is, we're sorry, we're fixing it, the patch, it's a service, oh, but it's in Game Pass, just play it. Like the excuses. Where Sony's just rolling out these games, like Last of Us 2, Dreams, Ghost of Tsushima, like they just roll that stuff out. Days Gone. And that had technical issues, but then when I played, I didn't know technical issues. What's up, Karen? How you doing? But it just feels like there's this quality management where Sony has a reputation now for making sure that their games are quality when they come out. And Microsoft, for some reason, I think they get flexibility because of Game Pass. But I just want this whole thing to just kind of come to an end. And I think tomorrow, what PlayStation thing is going to be, they're going to spin. If they're less powerful, they're going to spin it to save with speed. Cerny's going to talk circles. Some Cerny-ness going to Phil-ness. But the thing is that show me features, show me the controller, show me a game or so that's made that's just using a feature of the PlayStation 5. That's right, man. I'm self-isolating. Show me that stuff. That'll be interesting. But it's going to be interesting to hear them finally speak openly after so long of just being kind of mum on the whole subject and just showing a logo or just showing a little tech here or there. Because they did talk a little bit, but they haven't really done the full-blown Phil Spencer reveal, and that's the other thing. Like, this is all pomp and circumstance, what they're doing. I know, if they show any PlayStation 5 games, like a game or so tomorrow, demoing something, that would be awesome. And I do think tomorrow will probably be, I don't know, they could show a game. Because, again, they weren't planning on going to E3 anyway. See, Microsoft now, it's like we're still waiting to E3 for the games. Because that's the thing. Every time Microsoft talks about xCloud, for the last year and a half, everything that it's already over. Like, everything that Microsoft stated, the cloud, the Series X, the console, everybody is like, all right, now they just need to get everybody, Xbox and PlayStation fans, everybody. Now they just got to get their first party lined up. Now they just got to get those games coming out. It's always been that. And the last E3 was supposed to be like, oh, that's going to be the blowout. And the last E3 came and went and it was trash. XO19 was going to be. They showed Everwild from Rare, like Everwild. 12 teraflops. Like, I'm sorry, but they got to show some realistic, mature games. If you're selling a mature platform, like a $500-$600 machine, people are not going to want to play all kind of like, casual type Game Pass games. You're going to have to give mature games for the mature gamer. That's the reason why I stopped owning a GameCube. Like, I was done, and I went to Xbox because I was like, Nintendo didn't grow up with me. Like, after a while, I looked at myself, I'm like, I'm 20-something. I'm like, I cannot be playing Disney Sports Soccer anymore. Like, I need some other games. Like, I can't just be like, every game is cute and fun and kiddie. I needed to grow up, and I was playing then Ghost Recon, Unreal Tournament. And Xbox came off as a real, like, with the online and stuff. And I feel like with this Game Pass thing, like, I just feel like, we got Hellblade 2. Okay. And Gears. But, like, you need balance. You need more than that. And what is Hellblade 2 going to be? Like, you could say we got Hellblade 2 and Gears, right? And then Sony is like, yeah, God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, like, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man. Spider-Man was mature. That's not even cartoony. Days Gone. I got 7 right now. In addition to Concrete Genie, Dreams, like, than the VR experiences. And even VR, they're not like Astrobot you have, but then you also have, Blood and Truth and stuff like that. There's balance. There's a whole slew of games. Neo 2. MLB The Show. You got a baseball game. Like, these are just, you lose counting. And the thing about Hellblade is that Hellblade looks great. But I want to see what a Microsoft's Hellblade looks like. I still don't trust them with quality. I still don't trust them with what they're doing. I like Ninja Theory, but I don't want to know how these studios are going to operate under Microsoft's umbrella. They say they could do whatever they want, but, the first Ori didn't have technical problems. Why did the second one do? It was 4 years in the making. What happened to your Cuphead DLC? I came and went, co-op. Like, what is going on? And again, they showed a Series X yesterday. And what did they show? Minecraft. Gears 5. Oh, Gears 5 is running at 120 frames. Nobody's playing Gears 5 right now at 60 frames. Or at any frames, per se. Who's coming back for Gears 5? Next year. This year. End of this year. Who's coming back? Stop showing us old shit. Running on new hardware. Like, you did this already with the X. You launched the Xbox One X and you were trying to show us Master Chief Collection. Not only were there old games from the generation, but there were old games from friggin' the 360. And the game looks the same. I just showed it earlier. And who has 120 frame TV? That's right. Oh, but you need this. The V-Sync and G-Syncs and Z-Syncs and S-Syncs. Get the hell out of here with all this bull. Make a friggin' great game, okay? Enough of the frames and syncs and teraflop bullshit. Just make a great game and no fucking excuses. That's it. No, we'll patch it later. We're fixing the Nash. Just make a game. Is it that hard? You're a goddamn gaming company. Make a friggin' game. Tired of all these goddamn excuses. Sony could drop fucking 4 and 5 games all the time they want to, and they're great. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Neo 2 is a great game. It's a great game. I don't want to play it. I don't like those kind of games. I'm not going to take it away. I'm not taking it away. But just make a game. Spin excuses. And you had the stage to yourself for the last 2 years. Now, competition's coming to knock on your fucking door. They're done being quiet. Sony's dropping the bullshit tomorrow. Your vacation's over, Phil Spencer. Vacay is over. That's it. You had a year and a half to talk stage to yourself. You had the message. You had the ability to get gamers' attention back. These last year and a half that Sony stayed quiet. You had a chance, and you used that chance to talk about cell phone strap-ons, streaming to the cloud, going on E3 stage, and
We're
saying
really
this.
Focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can
at
we
the
get
last
as many people
E3,
playing on a phone as possible.
That was your message at the last E3. There's no E3 this year. That's what you brought all the Xbox fans to. Talking about games on phones. Your games on PC. That's what you did with your vacation. The SLAPBACK's coming. Now you better put your foot to the ground. And now you know competition. Now I want to hear, oh, well, we're not in competition with them. Sony's coming for you. They're coming for your throat. Sony's going to sneak in there like a snake that he is. And he's going to shut it down. And then they're going to show games. And if they don't, that's on them for being quiet and they're stupid. But if they do, it's going to be the Xpocalypse. Hashtag Xpocalypse. because they're coming now. They saw all that stuff yesterday. That's Cerny woke up this morning. He said, tweet that out right now.
You son of a bitch.
Cerny saw that Digital Foundry breakdown, and he goes like, he wakes up and he goes like this. He goes,
I've got news for you. You are mine now. You belong to me.
he's like, send that tweet out. We're coming for them. Because if you remember, this also happened in 2017. We're calling it 2017 Remastered. Microsoft came out, Phil unzipped his pants, talked about the 6 teraflops at E3. He talked all about the power. He had Kudry come out, Monster, Aaron Greenberg running around in a jacket, which I don't know if that guy's a human billboard or something, but I think there's probably better uses for Aaron Greenberg than just like throwing product placement on his ass. I don't know if they just think he's like a human billboard or some bullshit like that, but the guy, I don't understand him. They got him. Their advertisement for Ori was him to wear an Ori costume. For Sea of Thieves, he was there to shoot somebody out of a cannon. Then they had him wearing It's a Monster shirt and the jacket, and the varsity jacket when it released. The guy's a human billboard. I don't know if there's any other purpose for him than just to like throw product placement on him. But anyway, now I digress. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Nah, I forgot. I went on the Aaron Greenberg billboard. Do you see the Coon? You saw how many friggin' likes and retweets that friggin' announcement got this morning? It's ridiculous. If you look at all that coverage that they did yesterday, it didn't even get that amount of tweets. There was like, within a half hour, there was like 20,000 likes. And the fact is that everybody's home. The globe is home. And you know that PlayStation is a global brand. This is it. Like, this is the slapback of a year and a half of being quiet. And they got to bring it. They really don't have to bring it. But if they do bring it for any little thing, and like the thing is, they should. I thought, Silverback, I thought that they were just going to be like, yo, this is my thing. Yesterday, I was like, look at the stocks and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is kind of like, if we're going to go into a recession, this is not an environment that you want to release a $500-$600 premium console. Like, if people are struggling for money out of jobs and stuff like that because of all the quarantine, all the stuff, right? But hopefully by the end of the year when these things come out, or if they do get delayed to early next year, you know, people being home and stuff, that might even increase consoles, gaming. Gaming might, and you know, I know Phil said it, that saying how even though Xbox Live went down after he said that, he's like, oh, well, I'm so happy everybody's looking at games and stuff and using that during this time. But it was interesting that he said that it might increase game sales, But the hype is real. Transformers G, what's up? Says, it seems like whatever Phil does, he's the king to some. Even their Digital Foundry stuff didn't do nothing for me. Tomorrow will tell if Xbox was really bold in saving face and Sony shows their stuff. Yeah. The thing is that I don't know, and this was going to be a whole other thing. Like, I just don't, I don't know what Xbox winning anymore is. Like, I don't know how I could stay loyal to a brand that I don't even know what the brand success means. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to say, well, I bleed green, I'm an Xbox diehard, when there's there's nothing behind it anymore. Like, what is Xbox winning? What? I don't know. Like, it's going to be console dominant again, like the 360 era. I see some people going like, oh, man, if they get Perfect Dark and they're going to, and they'll go grab some Castlevania, they'll grab this game and they get this game and they're going to make a blockbuster IP. It's like, is anything that they've spoken about coming out of the booty hole? Or Phil Ness. Like, has anything that they've spoken about talk about bringing huge blockbuster games and buying huge IP and getting timed exclusives? Has any of that of the 360 era, which made it exciting, does any of that kind of come out from any of their interviews? It doesn't for me. I don't know if they're hearing the same things that I'm hearing. But I just don't understand, what do they represent anymore? What is success? Oh, they get Perfect Dark? Well, that's great. They need more than just Perfect Dark, and it has to be Perfect Dark the right way. I asked for Battletoads. I was like, oh, I can't wait. Battletoads. Phil's wearing the Battletoads shirt. Oh, Killer Instinct. Look at the Battletoads. Oh, my God, Phil's bringing it back. Phil's bringing it back. Dahlia Studios, here's the Battletoads. What the fuck is that? It looks like some fucking Flash game. That's not the Battletoads I was asking for. Oh, he's bringing back Perfect Dark. I hope. Like, I don't know. Like, what is that? They're just not on the same page. I don't know. Phil Ness has been. I don't know. Maybe Phil Ness will make a comeback. I don't know. We'll have to see if I get Phil Ness back on the show. It's been hard. You know, he's been touring the countries. He's been to Japan a lot of times. Been trying to get Phil Ness back on the show, but he's just been kind of incognito, man. It's been hard. You know, he's running around playing games on phones, setting up booty calls. You know. So I just thought it's hard to get Phil Ness back on the show, but yeah. But what? Yeah, exactly, Silverback. Xbox success is gamepad. Like, what is Xbox success? Like, that's what I don't know. It's like rooting for a football team that says, hey, we're not playing football anymore. It's about the sport. It's like, what? Are you going to win a championship? I don't know. Well, nah. Championship's not important. We're not doing championships. Well, how can you have fans if you're not going to be the best? Like, if you're not going to, like, what are you doing? I could tell you what they're doing. All they're doing now is appeasing to the 40 million people that they got left. They're not doing anything to pull people from Sony, pull people from Nintendo, pull people from PC to grow their platform. Instead, they're trying to hold on to whatever's left of their platform. That's why they're making these consoles. Just hold on to those Xbox 360, those Xbox Live subscribers, while we go poke around in PC and mobile games. That's what they're doing. And that's why when everybody's like, Sony's doing the same thing. Sony has value. Sony's succeeding in the console space. Xbox did not succeed. This is the contingency plan. If the console didn't succeed, they're thinking of other ways to compromise for the lack of success of the console. They sold less than half of what they sold of the 360. And lost all that game of mindshare. And you look at the games that they've released, the games don't even sell that much. Ori hit 13 in the UK charts. Neo was 2. Ori was 13. I know Dreams wasn't on MPDs, but Dreams came out a year ago. And it was digital. And it came out a year ago. So, like, when it released, that's when the beta ended. But it was purchasable for $30 a year ago. But, again, I didn't even think that game was going to sell. It's not even a game. It's a game to make games. But you're talking about Ori, a sequel to the biggest platformer. Number 13? Gears was number 7? Oh, Game Pass. Okay, excuses. More excuses. Oh, but when Sea of Thieves was number 2, in the dead of July, or the dead of April. Right. Oh, see you on the Penguin. Oh, yeah, Nintendo Indies. But, like, yeah. It's just, the thing is like, just make a great game. I don't know why you need excuses. But tomorrow, we'll see what Sony brings. And if Sony doesn't bring and they go talking around the event, we'll see. And Social joins, what's up? It says, Sony's still promoting games. Persona scoring well. Neo 2 doing well. They're starting the Doom 2 promo. Yes. Ghost and Last of Us out of the way. Time for Sony to get the straps. That's right. You want to know what else? The Control DLC is coming out in March for PlayStation and PC. And it's not coming out until June on Xbox. So Control has 3 DLCs that are coming. The first one comes out on March 26th. It's not coming out until June. They got a 3-month exclusive on the DLC for Control, the 3 expansions. It's the little things. It's the little perks. That's not saying somebody's going to run out and go buy a PlayStation for that. But these are the little things that, in addition to all those games that Social just mentioned, you're getting that. And you're getting VR. When Microsoft didn't want to do VR. Like, it's exciting. It's so many things to do. And I just wish Microsoft made it fun. They're talking like suits and teraflops. It's all just kind of this tech horse shit. It's not fun. When are you having fun? They don't seem like they're having fun. It just seems like it's all just like mumbo jumbo tech, future cloud tech and phones. And it's like, but what am I going to play, dude? Like, what's the fun stuff? Well, there's Battle. That don't look fun. You know, Bleeding Edge released. People said it's trash when they look at it. That's a problem. You should see that when you release that. You should know, like, whoa, this game is not getting taken. When nobody really likes to see that thing. Meanwhile, Sony shows Ghost of Tsushima and people are melting over it. They're like, holy crap, look at this game. I can't wait to play it. Bleeding Edge comes out and people are like, that game looks horrible. Now, yes, you have people in either camp that's just going to hate to hate. But the game doesn't look very appealing. It looks slow. It looks like a shit fest. It looks very, like, not very fun. The maps look very dated. It looks very open. It looks like a passion project. But it does not look very entertaining. That's a problem on the visionary Aaron Greenberg. I don't know who they are. But the people at Microsoft for knowing how to show their games. That trailer to Hellblade 2 was hotness. And this is the thing. Like, the problem is like, they don't know how to show their games. That Halo thing did nothing to excite anybody. I mentioned this on my last show. You know, they did nothing in that Halo trailer to tie it into Halo 5. They did not. It was just Master Chief was on the ship. I was like, why? That don't get me hyped up that where the stories go. And I have no clue what's going on here. That was a bad trailer. It did nothing to get you excited to say, oh, that's where the story's going to go. That's all. No. It was random ass cutscene. Yeah, and I know Social. This says like rumors that Sony bought Remedy. And now maybe that the DLC. They had a deal with Control. Control was in their booth at PAX. Like they had a deal with Control, but I didn't know they had a 3-month exclusive on their DLC, which is pretty crazy. I know they had some extra features when you bought the game, but I didn't know that they got the 3-month exclusive on DLC, but they just drop it. Like, yep, it's coming out March 25th, and then, Xbox gets it in June. It's like, and nonetheless, it's not just on Sony exclusive. It's going to PlayStation 4 and PC in March. And the oddball out is who? Oh, the most consumer-friendly, most proactive Xbox. They're the one that gets it in June. It's coming to PC, which is, I guess, Xbox, right? PC, Epic Store, and PlayStation 4 first. And it goes to the Xbox in June. Phil don't buy time DLC, I guess. I don't know. But maybe, you know. But those are the little things that they do. It's the little things. And then, you know, just seeing the stuff. Like, I'm going to tell you, just from my personal aspect, seeing the rumors that Sony might buy IP, Castlevania, Metal Gear, who was the other ones? Metal Gear, Castlevania, and another game, Silent Hills, from Konami, to make those games. Buy those IP from Konami. And then Microsoft tech specs. Like, for me, I'm more excited about the rumor that Sony is going to be making those, that Sony might get those IP to make those games, than the tech specs. Like, that's the thing. Like, I can't remember when, before the Xbox One X, that we had this tech spec, like, list. Like, I remember when they did it with the PlayStation 4, it was just like the RAM. Like, they just showed a text, they splash it on screen, and then they move on. But this whole breakdown, Digital Foundry, and the CUDA cores, and the GDR, and 10 available for RAM, and all this other stuff, it's like, you know, just have it work, you know? And the one thing looking at it, though, is that it looks pretty packed. That just to jump back to that Xbox Series X, like, it looks pretty packed in there. You know, I hope there's no heating issues with it. I know there's a big fan up top, but, you know, who knows by putting that thing on the side if that's the optimal way of doing it, because heat rises. And if the fan is on the side of it, I'm sure it's pulling it out. It's pulling the air out. But, like, that thing looks pretty packed. So, hopefully, you know, that's ideal, because it looks pretty dense that everything's in there. And a lot of stuff to fit it in that tower. But it's impressive that they fit it all in that tower. And it'll be interesting to see if they show tomorrow what the PlayStation 5 looks like. Does it look like the V? Does it look like a ball? Does it look like a square? Does it look like a sleek, you know, PlayStation 4 Pro? But yeah, we'll see what it looks like. I don't know if they're going to see what it looks like, or they're just going to go through the tech specs of it. You know, maybe they'll just go through the text and say, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just very surprised that they came with the slapback a day after the V is there. I think so. I think the V design is there in some aspect of it, because it is the 5. And if it looks like a 5, that would be freaking crazy. You know, I think the V will be there in some aspect of it. But, like, yeah. But just finally, you know, everybody was saying that they were afraid. You know, and I said, with all these games coming out, like, Sony really had no incentive really to do it. But again, it's the Game Developers Conference. They got to acknowledge that. And looking at last year's Game Developers Conference, you know, PC and PlayStation were the biggest, and then the Switch were the biggest, you know, platforms of interest for developers. So they got to show that they're representing there. You know, Xbox wasn't big on the list there. I remember, you know, looking at that list for development of a survey that they took. So we'll see how it goes. But, you know, I'm just surprised that they came back. Like, they did not let Microsoft enjoy this. I thought this week was, when I saw that on Monday, I'm like, oh, God. More teraflops, more GDR, more, like, talking about the Hovis method and vapor chambers and low latency and all this. Oh. There's probably going to be more of it. Now, tomorrow, there's going to be more comparing back and forth. But the thing is like, hey, if the PlayStation more powerful, you better watch some Xbox guys might be not happy. Especially the ones who created the whole thing where Sony's scared. But if the PlayStation less powerful, they'll be happy. But it's not going to... Is that Xbox winning? That's what I don't get. And then on top of it, it's the price in games. If Sony has a less powerful machine that's $100 less than the Series X, and they have games, that's where people are going to go. I don't know what... Microsoft need to have a whole lineup of games to launch with the Series X. Not just Halo. They need a huge bunch of AAA games. They need Halo, Perfect Dark, Conquer, Banjo-Kazooie. They need like a lineup of like 5 or 6 games for the launch of this console. The Series X. To really put a dent and really like get back that game of mindshare. But they're just relying on Halo and a bunch of mediocre Game Pass games. And they'll show, and you know, we'll see what they do. But my headache's coming back now. See? Grinds my gears, give me headaches. But guys, I want to thank you again for coming out. I'll try to get Phil Ness back on this show. But until then, the slapback. Tomorrow's going to be the Xpocalypse. And we'll be ready to see, finally, after years of silence, the party's over. Thank you again for coming out, guys. I am out. Be safe out there. Talk to you guys later.